Okay, so something super interesting that I talk with a lot of my friends, that they are creatives and they think that they cannot also be organized, or that they can set a plan because they think that being creative is going with the flow.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that, that's where it becomes a problem when people begin to limit themselves, because we always talk about that success takes two things. It takes that consistency and it takes that creativity. And whenever you label yourself either way and say, well, I'm just a person that is, always consistent. I just always show up on time. I do all those things, but I'm not really creative. Or if you go the other way and say, well, I'm just the creative. I like to go with the flow. I like the new ideas, but I don't really I'm not really that consistent person. Then what you're really saying is I will only have a measure of success. And I don't know about you, but like I don't want to just have a measure of success. I want to be as successful as possible. And so it takes us having both of those things. And so I think that to people, for people to really see that whenever we say those things, what we're really doing is limiting ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's all behaviors. You're learning behaviors.
Right.
I'm learning. If I'm the consistent guy. I mean that's who I am. That's how I'm wired. I lean in that way. Well, I need to know that. But I know if I'm going to be successful in the future that's changing, I've got to be creative. I've got to find a new way to connect with an audience. I've got to find new ways to raise my kids as my kids grow up. What works today with Carolina Lee at 8 is not going to work when she's 18. I've got to find the new way to connect with her, lead her, guide her, correct her. I've got to find those new ways. And so I've got to be willing to say, okay, I might lean towards consistency, but I'm growing in my creativity. And I think for the creative person, it's the same, is that it's just learning behaviors of being consistent. So what do I have to do? I've got to learn how to fill out a journal, fill out a calendar. I've got to learn how to block off time for certain things in my life. I've got to learn those behaviors, and everything can be learned. Creativity can be learned. Consistency can be learned, but we just have to be willing to say, there's not going to be any barriers on my life. There's not going to be any lids on my life. Instead, I'm going to find a way to keep growing and keep improving. And if I want success over a long period of time, the only way that happens is if I develop consistency and creativity and they work together side by side.
I think it's funny because a lot of people think like creativity is just the photography, the music, the video, but kind of with what you're saying, it's also being the problem solver.
Exactly.
Like being creative is also the problem solver.
Exactly. Creative is solving problems. It's bringing a new idea to the table. Whether that be for your family, whether that be for your business, whether that be how to manufacture something faster, more efficient, more effective. That has nothing to do with design or website. It's an idea that is going to make things better. And so I think whenever you look at it, as creativity is solving problems. It's seeing things that people have never seen before. And that can be even within a context, even within a box, you can see something that nobody's ever seen to make it all run smoother in there. And so I think creativity doesn't have to be this big, huge mural that you paint on the side of a building. Creativity can be developing better software for communication that happens within an office complex. That's creativity. And so you're solving problems and you're generating brand new ideas and perspectives that people just have never had before.
Which I think it's cool that we kind of switch it up and define creativity as that as well. Because sometimes we just get so stuck in it's just this,
Yeah.
But as we talk about success.
But you do the same thing with consistency, because what do people think when they think consistent? They think rigid, right?
True.
They think rough. They think no fun, right?
Yeah,
that's like what you think when you get consistency. But whenever you begin to think differently about consistency, oh, wait a minute, this is actually going to make me stronger, make me better, oh, wow, okay, this is actually not going to steal my fun. It's actually going to allow me to have more margin and space for more fun, right? And so it's saying, okay, the way that people in the past have tried to label these things for us, okay, I'm changing the definition of those things. I'm going to relabel it, and that way I can determine what this is for me and what I need it to be moving forward.
Yeah. So when we talk about success, how do you define success? Like a healthy view of success or whatnot?
Yeah, I think success is the greatest success is becoming the best version of yourself. I think that's the greatest success. Committing to a lifelong journey of learning and growing and becoming and
Yeah.
developing. I think that's the greatest success possible. And I think that that's a success that many people give up on. I think that many people see success, okay, well, if I get this vice president title at my company, then I've been successful. And they get that title when they're 38 years old and they stop growing and they stop developing and they stop learning. And then their life is not from 38 to 78. It's not what it could have been because they define success as achieving this position instead of something that I mean, honestly, like I'm never going to fully achieve success by the definition of, because there's always something new to learn. There's always another thing to grow in. There's always something new that I need to develop. And so it's like it's always this chase to become the very, very best version of myself. So for me, that's where the definition of success really starts. It is this pursuit. It is this chase. Because I think if you name it anything, success for me is getting married. Success for me is just having kids. Success for me, what do you do after you've had the kid? Like, you better have a vision for how to raise that kid, what you want for that kid's future. How are you going to equip them and empower them to do what they need to do? So it can't just be, this is my thing of success. No, it always has to be growing. It always has to be developing. But whenever you're committed to becoming the best version of yourself, and why are you doing that? You're doing it for the people around you.
Yeah.
It's not just so I can say, wow, look at me. I mean, I am the best version. No, I want to become better because I need to be better for my spouse.
Yeah.
I need to be better for my kids. I need to be better for my friends. I need to be better for those who are working beside me, working for me, working above me. I've got to become the best version of myself. And whenever you really commit to that, that is the ultimate pursuit of real success.
So what do you think is the difference between potential and purpose? Because I was just thinking as you were saying that, it's like a lot of times sometimes we only think, man, we just want to get to our fullest potential.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like we're always growing.
Yeah.
So it's like, are we really actually going to meet our full potential? We're always continuing to grow? Or should we kind of switch it where it's like, instead of just focusing on reaching potential, it's like, hey, I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing my purpose like every day. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, does that mean that sometimes we have to shift our mindset? Because I know for me, I'm like, oh, I want to reach my full potential, that I'm working on potential. But you're right, like, we're always growing and evolving.
Yes.
So is that a mindset that, even for myself, that I have to change to, like, it's not potential, but it's about purpose? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Yeah,
potential is a funny word because there's something else that happens with potential when people talk about potential. And that is that people can say, they can put so much hope and trust in their potential.
Right.
That they never actually develop and fulfill their purpose.
Right.
Because they're always talking about, man, I've got so much potential in this.
Right.
I've got so much potential. Potential is a scary thing because whenever we put so much of our future in this potential, we don't do what we need to do today because we're relying on this potential that other people have told us we have, that we know we might have, whatever, And so potential is a scary thing. And then whenever you go down this road that you're going on, it's like, well, wait a minute, this never stops because I can always become better. Yeah. Okay, well, then I'm never going to arrive there. So potential becomes scary again because if you think you're going to arrive there and you don't ever arrive there, then you get discouraged, you get disappointed, you get disillusioned. Like, well, man, this is a dog chasing his tail. Like, he's never going to catch it. So I think potential is a scary thing. But when you start talking about purpose, you can live on purpose every day. Yeah. You can fulfill the purpose of the day on every day. Yeah. You can grow, you can learn, you can connect, you can help, you can encourage, you can support, you can fulfill purpose on every day, but we're never going to fulfill potential in a day. And so, we'll talk about potential, but potential is a scary thing. And so I try to say you need to pull back from potential. And you really need to focus on the purpose of the day.